Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Ishita, before we proceed further, I just want to tell you that when you walk in, you should first wish good afternoon, and somebody will ask you to be seated. Then you'll only sit down. Don't rush to the seat and sit down and then say good afternoon.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
आप किसी के घर जाइएगा तो जब तक आपको कहा ना जाए बैठने के लिए आप नहीं बैठती है ना, तो
Yes,
उसी तरह इंटरव्यू तो और भी फॉर्मल ओकेजन है, इसलिए पहले आकर खड़े होकर कुर्सी के पीछे ही खड़े होकर आप कहिए गुड आफ्टरनून सर या गुड मॉर्निंग सर जो भी है, और अगर कोई लेडी मेंबर है तो गुड आफ्टरनून मैडम भी कहिए। अगर वो चेयरपर्सन है वो लेडी तो सबसे पहले उनको विश कीजिए, फिर बाकियों को कीजिए, नहीं तो चेयर को करने के बाद फिर गुड आफ्टरनून मैडम। ठीक है? तो ये ध्यान रखिएगा। So, Ishita, you are a student of economics.
Yes,
and
sir.
you did your BA honors from Lady Shri Ram College. And why did you then have to go to Chennai to do your MA?
Sir, I wanted to further hone my skills in economics. I gave entrance for DSC, but I could not make it, and I did not want to take a break. So I went to Madras School of Economics, and the college is also very good. So I thought it will be a fresh breath of fresh air going to the southern states and living there for 2 years.
So a lot of people talk about north-south divide in our country.
Sir.
Did you experience that there, or it was not there?
Sir, in terms of economic development as well as the social indicators, there is certainly a north-south divide. The south is more economically prosperous. The infrastructure as well as the per capita income and the living standards of people, it was there. And there was a cultural differences between the north and the south that I experienced. However, it was in a more positive sense. The cultural differences, but people say that they face language issue in the south. However, I felt that people had functional language of English in the south, and there was not a communication challenge that I faced. English was there as a bridging language.
And did you ever try your Hindi as well? Were you forced to speak Hindi when you walked around on the streets?
Sir, I was not forced to speak Hindi, but people do recognize certain Hindi words.
Okay. And were Hindi films shown in Chennai, or no Hindi films are seen there?
Sir, in the multiplexes, the Hindi films were released, and I had the opportunity of visiting those multiplexes. The cinema in Chennai was actually very cheap as compared to the northern multiplexes.
And were there Tamilian crowd also in the cinema halls?
Yes,
while
sir.
Hindi films?
Yes, sir. They also enjoyed the Hindi films very much.
Okay. We wanted you to do a SWOT analysis of yourself.
Yes.
Will you please do it for us?
So my strengths would include that I am self-disciplined and I am responsible. My parents' occupation has had a very major impact on my personality in a positive sense. So it has made me more responsible as well as self-confident in my decision making. And sir, one weakness would be that I often hesitate in asking for help until it is too late. So I try to manage things on my own, which becomes which comes with a lot of difficulties as it increases pressure on me. And only then I realize that I need help and I ask for help. So this is one weakness that I possess. And sir, opportunities Sir, I think economics provides me a very good base in understanding things that are going around, in understanding how people make decisions. So I think this is one asset that I have, which I can use in my career. And sir, threat I'm not aware.
You mentioned your parents' profession.
Yes,
That
sir.
prompts me to ask you one question. That what do you think of the life of a policeman in this country?
Sir, I saw that my parents were facing certain challenges. The workload was very much, and the work-life balance was not there, because of which they could not spend enough time with us. Even when my mains result came, I only informed my parents over the phone. However, my parents took a lot of pride in the work that they did. They were very satisfied with their job and talk about their job with a lot of enthusiasm, which sir prompted me to opt for public services in the first place. So I think it gives a very good opportunity for people who want to work for the society, give back to the society. So police is something which is at the forefront. They are the first responders to any kind of crisis or problem that people face. So in that sense, it gives a lot of opportunity to people.
Okay, Mr. Rai.
Okay, Ishita,
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. Shall I uh, first ask you about your uh, extracurricular activity to begin with? How do you
Yes.
mentor? What qualities do you see in the persons you are about to mentor? How do you? Which are the areas you focus on to get the best out of it?
So first of all, I like to listen to the problem that the mentee has come up with. It is very important to identify that what kind of intervention people want, whether they want you to give them more information that will help in making choice easier, or whether they want advice from you in certain section, or in certain circumstances they are just wanting a listening ear or a reassurance on the decision that they have already made. So after identifying what kind of intervention a situation requires, I try to understand properly and gain trust of the mentee so that he opens up and the layers of information is uncovered to understand the underlying problem. Then, sir, the idea is not to take decisions on someone else's behalf or to impose one's own sense of judgment, but to provide the information in the most unbiased and and non-judgmental manner, so as to enable the person to take decisions and informed decision more independently. And sir, lastly, once you have given the suggestion to the person, uh, it is very important to follow up to understand whether your intervention or whether your advice was any help or further help is required from your part.
How do you get the feedback from out of them later on? I mean, how do you monitor, or you simply give them advice and that's the end of it?
No, sir, I try to follow up on the advice that I have given. For example, in the college, when people came up to me to ask for the electives, I provided them information or get them in touch with other people who have information regarding that. Then I asked them whether the information that I have given them, whether it was helpful or not, what choices did they make, and whether if they require me to make any certain changes to make myself also better in the process.
That's remarkable. Uh, what views do you have on commercialization of agriculture?
Sir, I think the main problem in agriculture is that it is non-remunerative for the farmers. They are not able to get the best price for their produce, because of which there are a lot of farmer suicide. So commercialization of agriculture would be a good thing going forward if it is implemented with the safeguards and government's oversight and regulation are in place, so as to ensure that the interests of all the stakeholders are protected.
Okay. Now, on the skill, what are the skill development initiatives that we have taken?
So the Skill Development Council has been established in order to take decisions with regards to new policy implementation in the area of skill development. Sir, I'm not able to recall.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Now, with regard to the MSME sector, what is their role in employment generation and exports?
Sir, MSME sector is the largest employer generator after agriculture, and they basically generate employment in the field of labor-intensive production and low-skilled and semi-skilled work, because of which a lot of people who do not have higher education or skills that are required to participate in the services sector or high-skilled industrial sector can easily find job in the MSME. And sir, regarding the exports, we have comparative advantage in the production of the MSME sectors, but it has not been harnessed to the fullest. So we need to make a lot of effort in increasing the share of MSME in the total exports.
What is a sunset clause?
So sunset clause essentially means that if you are giving any affirmative action in order to increase the economic growth of a particular sector, it should come with a threshold date that after a particular time, say 5 years, the affirmative actions would be removed. So it will help in giving the advantage of protection so that the sector can grow.
How has the COVID impacted informal workers?
So COVID has had a major impact on the informal workers, particularly those who have been working in contact intensive work. And sir, also those sectors which are more cash incentives, they have also been impacted because of COVID. See, the overall impact is negative and it has resulted in around 230 million people slipping back into poverty. And informal sector has a lot of people who have very low income. So it has become very difficult for them during the COVID period.
How is Sri Lanka handling its war crimes?
Sir, can you repeat?
War crimes in Sri Lanka. How are they grappling with it?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Not aware. Then what could be the what was the Kohinoor controversy about? And did it strain the relationship of India with UK?
So Kohinoor controversy, in my opinion, was about bringing back the Kohinoor, which was a part of the peacock throne of Shah Jahan, which UK had taken during the colonial times. So it was about bringing back Kohinoor back to India. Sir,
It's
I'm
okay.
not really.
It's okay. It's okay. Now, two very general questions, but I want a very focused reply from you. Now, Ishita becoming a civil servant. Okay. Now, what is it about civil services that you like most, and how do you fit into it?
Sir, I think people who want to work for the society and have public welfare in mind, civil services provides a very efficient platform to become of relevance to the society. It also provides a very diverse range of employment opportunities, and it can help in hone the overall personality of the individual. A civil servant has a major impact on the lives of common people. They are formulating policies at certain stages, implementing them at another stages. So building trust in the society, civil servants play a very important role in bridging the gap between the government as well as the people. So I think in that arena, I would like to contribute to the society in the best way possible. I would like to utilize my knowledge of economics and other personality traits that I have and bring the best to the table to help the society, albeit in small ways.
Okay, my last question to you is about Delhi.
Yes,
Born, brought up in Delhi.
yes, sir.
Okay, so once you get used to the discomforts of Delhi, you begin to like it. No, that's how it is described. So, in how would you describe Delhi? What are the uh, shiny parts of Delhi? What are the underbelly parts of Delhi that you do not feel very comfortable about? 2 to 3 points for and against.
Sir, Delhi has a very vibrant atmosphere. It can be called a mini India because you can see migrants from different part of the country flocking into Delhi. So it has uh, a reflection of the culture as well as the heritage that we have inherited both from the Mughal as well as the Britishers. The old Delhi displays the influence of Mughal on the local people, while the new Delhi displays the British legacy that we have inherited. And so second would be that Delhi is a premier place where people come from for job as well as for education. So better facilities are provided in terms of education, health, even transportation. The city is well connected and there are last mile connectivities available. And sir, about the weaknesses of Delhi, I think the major problem is that of air pollution. The air pollution in Delhi is amongst the worst among all the major cities, not only in Delhi, but also in the world that we need to work on. So second would be the crime rate and the perception that Delhi is unsafe for women. That is something that we need to tackle. And the third would be
Enough. I can't take more against Delhi. Okay, my last question to you. See, have you heard about the merger of the 8 services of railways into one service, the IRMS, Indian Railway?
yes, sir.
So, what was it set to achieve?
So consolidation helps in better management, governance, as well as streamlining of the structure. It also helps in better coordination between the departments, which will help in better delivery of services. And it will also help in achieving the economies of scale within different departments.
Yeah, okay. Now, and my last question to you, and really it will be the last question. In the on the income tax reforms, have we been able to move in the correct direction? Or there are lots more that requires to be done.
So there have been very positive steps that are taken in the income tax reform. For example, the faceless assessment is a very good initiative, which will help in uh, easy resolution of disputes as well as more compliance and removing the corruption in the income tax that exists right now. And sir, second is the faceless assessment even in the appellate hearing of the cases that will help in better compliance and people will be more willing to contribute to the income tax. Right now, the only 2 to 3% of the entire population pays income tax, because of which the tax to GDP ratio is very low. So these are very positive steps. Sir, apart from that, the direct tax code has very important suggestions and recommendations. So we need to move in that direction to improve the tax compliance, increase the cost of avoiding taxes, and improving the tax to GDP ratio.
Who received the Nobel Prize in Economics 2 years back, 2019?
Sir, Abhijit Banerjee, Esther Duflo, and
Very good. Very good. Arvind Monsau?
Good afternoon, Ishita. You are an economist, and our economists always have differing views. So, even after this COVID, the recovery which was being predicted by economists, some were saying it will be V-shaped, some were saying it will be U-shaped, then K-shaped, L-shaped, Z-shaped, W-shaped. So, what do all these mean?
So because of the COVID crisis, there has been a dip in the overall economic growth. All the sectors and major macroeconomic indicators were down. However, going forward, we have taken certain structural reforms and there is a positive atmosphere in the economy. And it is expected that the recovery would be fast. If it happens fast, it will be V-shaped. And if it happens at different pace for different section of the society, it would be K-shaped. And if the recovery is rather slow, then it would be U-shaped.
There is also an L shape.
Sir, I'm not aware about the L
which says it will remain low.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in our case, what has actually been it like so far?
So before the second wave hit the economy, the atmosphere was very good. The animal spirit was starting increasing as we could see the inflow of FDI and even the stock market was rising, because of which we were very hopeful that the recovery would be V-shaped and very robust going forward. However, because of the second wave, the economic growth again took a dip, and we need to analyze the macroeconomic indicators now to find out whether we still stand by the view that recovery would be V-shaped.
Okay. Now, what are the major challenges in your opinion to this recovery?
Some major challenges to this recovery. Sir, one of the major challenges would be the banking sector. It is very important to ensure that the loans do not turn into NPAs. Otherwise, the investment will not take off. Then we have heavily invested our energy into the infrastructure sector, and a major boost is given in the budget also. So faster clearances and better administration of infrastructure would determine whether we are able to push the reforms further and create a positive atmosphere. So apart from that, we also really have to focus on the rural economy, from which most of the demand comes. India is essentially a consumption-driven economy with 60% of the share in GDP comes from consumption, and a lot of portion is from the rural sector. With second wave impacting the rural economy more, we have to make sure that the recovery from the rural sector also comes. Sir, we have introduced many policies and major reforms, for example, in the labor codes. Essentially, we have combined the labor codes into 4 labor codes, and we have also introduced liberalization in the agriculture sector through the 4 farm laws. Better implementation of these policies and major reforms, as well as the structural intervention that government has taken in the form of Atmanirbhar Bharat program, that would be very important. Respecting the rule of law, ensuring that the contract are respected, and having a policy certainty environment so that we are able to ensure the confidence of the investors. That would be very critical in ensuring that we come out of this crisis.
Right. Are we facing a demand side inflation now?
Sir, right now the demand are depressed because of the decline in the permanent income of people. There has been a lot of unemployment in the country, rising unemployment during the COVID time, because of which the demand is down. So the inflation that we are facing is from the supply side, I believe.
Okay. Now, country's economy is not in a good shape, to say the least. But at the same time, share market index is going up every day. How do you explain this?
Sir, the share market have a long-standing vision. They look at the prospective growth of the economy in the future, based on which they make their investment. That is one reason. Another reason is that in the world over, there has been a lot of liquidity flushed in the economy. For example, the US has put money into the hands of people through fiscal expansion as well as monetary expansion. Because of the increase in liquidity, the investors are looking for economies to invest in. So India is a very prospective economy, and they have confidence in India's growth going forward. That is why the stock market is going up.
What is this helicopter money?
So helicopter money is giving money into the hands of people directly without any conditions attached.
Okay. Last question. What is this tapering effect?
So sorry, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
So your interview is over. Now we will start with the feedback. And Raisa will first give his feedback.
Okay, so what we noticed, Ishita, your replies to the questions were very measured, very appropriate. I have just made a note of 2 points in your responses. Sir, can you take over? I will just join you.
Okay.
I have misplaced my paper somewhere.
Okay. Okay, I'll first give my feedback then.
Yes,
and
yes.
then Raisa will come.
Yes.
So, Ishita, you, as being a student of economics, your knowledge of economics is very good. And you answered all the questions perfectly. At times, generally your answers were concise also. At times, there was a very long answer. So you have to avoid giving very long answers. Because after some time, the interviewer may lose interest. And he may shift to some other question, and you may be left out with some vital points which you had to mention.
Yes.
So just take care of this thing. Otherwise, the kind of knowledge base you have and the way you reply, it is perfect.
Okay.
So you just take care of this thing, that don't try to give. At 1 or 2 occasions in this interview also, your reply was long, not generally. But even that should also not happen. You should be, if the panel member asks you to elaborate further, you do. Otherwise, don't do. Okay. Take care of this thing, this very small thing.
Yeah.
And you should be through.
Thank you, sir.
Ishita, just 2 points apart from what I will suggest to you to read on. Just 2 small points. One is when I asked you to define yourself as a good, successful, and a good civil servant, I expected you also to mention your extracurricular activity part of it, that is mentoring juniors. So that will come in very handy when you are acting as a when you are functioning as a civil servant. And since you mentioned that as a ECA, I mean extracurricular activity, it should have found mention in your response to the question. See, everything that you've written in DAF should filter ultimately and show you up as the as your target of getting into the civil services. This should have also found mention. Just you can elaborate on good parts on some parts of it, like you mentioned that you get a feedback. So similarly, as a civil servant, you like to get a feedback from your subordinates, from your peer group. That's a habit that's an extracurricular that you inculcated. So it will come in handy as a civil servant. Some, not just mentoring juniors, but mention some aspects of it, like getting feedback. Then you said you make some course corrections. Suppose there is some mention of by a subordinate or peer group of there is some rectification they wish to ask you to do. You will do it, because as a mentoring of junior, you are not making it an issue that you will not make any course corrections. Course corrections will come in the way. Your APAR, your seniors asking you to make some course corrections, you will attend. As a mentor of juniors, it's a very good point that you can add to your, that is one. Then the other part is about, you can also pick up good points from economics. You did mention, you gave a very good, very measured and very balanced reply to that question on how, but some good things about economics, the objectivity, the auditing, I mean, good things about the subject of economics that you can pick up, and to for instance, in economics, you did mention development initiatives. See, during pandemic, I read some district collectors have got people from the villages, women and men, and got them into the this as a interim measure of economic this thing. They have done so. In a district in UP, I read somewhere that the DM has collected, he's made a data of hundreds of people whom he has distributed work in Tilonia in Rajasthan. They've done this. And they've, so this economic, this discipline that the subject that teaches you economics is also teaches you some aspects that you can utilize for in such pandemic times. That is about all. Go through some of these foreign issues. I mean, foreign international tussles or stresses in the Ukraine, in the West Asia, Israel, the two nation, one nation theory. All this you can go through. You'll do very well, Ishita. You'll do very well. And Delhi, about the Delhi, you made very good points. Perhaps you could also have mentioned the cuisine, because that finds a special, it has a special attraction. And Delhi has a cuisine of, I mean, across the, in fact, international platters also you'll find in most of the restaurants in Delhi serving good international platters. So that you could perhaps, very good, Ishita. I'm impressed.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you.
इशिता, आप खुद बताइए, आपको इंटरव्यू कैसा लगा? अपना इंटरव्यू कैसा लगा? अपना परफॉर्मेंस आप के बारे में आप क्या सोचती हैं?
So starting में I was a little underconfident, but as the interview progressed, I think I did well. However, there is scope for improvement, as sir mentioned, that speaking short answers and reading up on certain things that I will do.
If I was asked to point out the highlights of the question, one thing which I noticed very clearly, that before you begin to answer a question, you think, you pause for some time, and then you start speaking, which is a great quality. It shows that you're not shooting off your mouth immediately on being asked a question. So that was very good. When you speak slowly at a measured pace, and every word that you speak is very clear, and you speak with a lot of clarity, which again is a very good point. And of course, there is no harm in preparing a little more on all the aspects. We were talking about Delhi. We should know about the history of Delhi. Then on current affairs, all the important current affairs, international relations, especially the problem in West Asia, the dispute between Palestine and Israel, the dispute between Russia and Ukraine, then the changing dimensions of the US-China relations, then Indo-China relations also. What is the background, what is the history? So these things you can, because there is still some time before you actually get your call. So you have enough time. What I suggest is you make a list of topics. अपने ख्याल से बना लीजिए, कोई इसमें बड़ी बात नहीं. आपको पता है हिस्ट्री ऑफ दिल्ली, मान लीजिए एक टॉपिक बना लिया, तो उस पर 1 या 2 पेजेस में आपने पढ़ लिया उसका all the kingdoms that have come and gone. It is said that there were 7 kingdoms, but actually there were many more. उनके कहाँ आज तक अवशेष मिलते हैं, वो सब देख लीजिएगा. फिर ये आपने बहुत अच्छा कहा कि मुगल समय का रेमिनेंट्स पुरानी दिल्ली में देखने को मिलता है, और उसकी जो इंग्लिश, लेकिन वहाँ आपने यूके कहा. यूके नहीं था उस समय इंग्लैंड था. हम लोगों पर इंग्लैंड ने राज किया है, तो इंग्लैंड
Yes,
की लेगेसी जो है वो नई दिल्ली के इलाके में है. So we are a good mix, and there is a lot of. Then you mentioned about women's safety, uh, and you also mentioned about crime rate, and you
yes, sir.
hastily added that it is a perception, not necessarily correct, that India is the crime capital of Delhi is the crime capital of India, or the capital of offences against women. These are all images that have been created over the years that may not be true. And since you belong to a police family, you should be able to defend the fact that we are not. Delhi is not a crime capital. Delhi is not unsafe for women. It is a perception that has been created because of a very robust media and of course, अगर उसको कोई किसी ने अगर ज्यादा गहराई में पूछा तो आप बता सकती हैं कि दिल्ली के हिंटरलैंड में जो जेंडर रेशियो है वो थोड़ा
Yes, sir.
स्क्यूड है और इस इलाके में महिलाओं के प्रति जो व्यवहार है या जो अप्रोच है वो पैट्रियार्कल है, उसकी वजह से भी काफी समस्याएं हैं. वरना आई थिंक यू आर एन एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी कैंडिडेट एंड आई एम श्योर यू विल डू एक्सट्रीमली वेल. Any points that I've left out, Arvind ji?
नहीं, covered.
Rajiv ji?
Unmute करिए सर.
Unmute कर लीजिए, unmute.
इनका ड्रेस कोड कवर हो गया?
नहीं, ड्रेस कोड रह गया. Thank you for reminding me. तो ड्रेस कोड, I'm sure you'll be wearing a sari that day.
Yes, sir.
So ideally, we would have liked to see you to have seen you in the dress that you're wearing, you plan to wear on the final day. But nonetheless, wear a sari of a sober color. I mean, the color that you are wearing is good enough, but a lighter, sober. Don't wear red or pink or dark colored. Wear a handloom sari, cotton sari will looks good. We should be proud of our own हैंडलूम साड़ीज. तो आप अच्छी साड़ी पहन लीजिएगा. और वरना एक अच्छे कैंडिडेट में जो भी खूबियां होनी चाहिए वो सब आप में है और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आप अच्छा करेंगे. तो वी विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट. मे गॉड ब्लेस यू. बाय बाय.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Chairman Saab, with your permission, Ishita,
Yes,
I would suggest you again that आप जो आंसर्स दे रहे हैं मैक्रो लेवल पर जो आप दे रहे हैं ना, ओवरऑल थोड़ा उसको माइक्रो पर कीजिए. थोड़ा सा जैसे इकोनॉमिक्स का कुछ कंपोनेंट्स निकाला एंड देन पुटिंग इनटू एज अ गुड सिविल सर्वेंट. दिल्ली का कुछ और माइक्रो लेवल का कुछ फेस्टिवल्स का कुछ निकालिए यूनिक टू दिल्ली. यहाँ का जो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. थोड़ा आपका जवाब है ओवर आर्चिंग बहुत अच्छा है, बट थोड़ा सा दिल्ली का यूनिकनेस उसमें नहीं आया. दिल्ली का यूनिकनेस जो आपने बताया वो किसी भी सिटी के बारे में इट इज ट्रू ऑफ एनी सिटी. और दूसरा चीज ये था कि भाई आपका जो मेरे ख्याल से आपका ड्रेस में हम लोग नॉर्मली ये फॉलो करते हैं व्हाट यू वोंट वेयर टू अ पार्टी यू वेयर टू द ऑफिस. सो उसमें
Yes.
थोड़ा ड्रेस को थोड़ा सा सॉफ्ट होना चाहिए, थोड़ा सा वाइल्डर स्टेटमेंट होना चाहिए. All the best, Ishita. I know you'll do very well.
thank you, sir.
You make your parents proud.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ishita, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hey.